There's an interesting video I saw come out earlier on, and it's one my mate Paz did. You can see the screen here. And it's all about the fact that Keir Starmer wants to get rid of trial by jury, or at least there's some discussion about it. This isn't a new thing. I did this video about 4 months ago talking about that very same subject, getting rid of trial by jury. Now, this is very disturbing to me because if you look back at common law, if you look back at documents like the Bill of Rights, if you look back at documents like the Magna Carta, for example, we have a right under everything I've just mentioned to a trial in front of a jury of our peers to determine guilt or innocence. There is even precedent set in 2 particular trials, which I know of, that spring to mind about the purpose and function of a jury. The excuse that they're using to get rid of juries is only for certain cases, because the court system has a backlog of literally thousands and thousands of cases going back a few years now that need to be dealt with, and they're looking at ways of trying to improve this situation, or get rid of the backlog. And that's where this idea comes from. But you can imagine the fact that once you start dealing with things with judge only for certain cases, and they suddenly think, oh, that works all right, doesn't it? Let's maybe do this with others. So then sooner or later you get a situation whereby no case anywhere will have a jury attached to it regardless. That's an interesting concept. If you go to the legal aspect of this, for example, one of the things that you have to realize is the system of law which we have across the whole of the unitary state, which is the United Kingdom. England, Wales, and Northern Ireland share common law, specifically common law, which this jury system comes from. And also it goes very much on precedent. A lot of decisions made about a person's guilt or innocence or other matters in law are judged based on previous trials, previous experiences to try and reach a conclusion. And it's a system we've had in place for, well, more years than I care to remember. If you look at Scotland, they use something called civil law primarily, which basically is Roman law. And they call it a hybrid system because they, mix a little bit of common law in every now and again, but primarily it is a civil law jurisdiction. And interestingly, that's one of the reasons that the UK can never be considered a country in the true sense of the word, because we don't share the same legal system. If you look at Halsbury's Laws of England, for example, there is a page in there specifically that tells you why the United Kingdom can't be considered a country. It can only be considered a country for certain purposes, i.e. the bills of exchange. Now, where civil law is interesting, an awful lot of cases in civil law or Roman law are dealt with on a judge-only basis. Now, who else shares civil law? The EU. I did a little bit of research going across the EU before I came and recorded this video. And what I'm about to tell you is very much considered a conspiracy theory, but it does give you pause. It does make you stop and think. What that is that 24 out of the 27 member states of the EU use civil law, primarily judge only, no juries. It's interesting, isn't it? So you go from a point of, we're going to do this to save some time, and then you go and look a bit deeper, and you can see that that way of doing things is shared with the EU. So you have to wonder, is that the direction of travel? You let me know what you think. It could be a rabbit hole, or there could be something in it. I believe there's something in it, because if you look at these Fabians that are in government, one of the methodologies of the Fabian Society is slowly and by stealth. So you get people used to an idea and then bosh, bash them with it later. So again, I invite your comments. Thanks for watching. Please hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. Most importantly of all, share my stuff. And I look forward to talking to you soon. Toodaloo.